Hey all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank and I'm with Squeaks.
Squeaks.
And today we're going to be going over some of the news. We're going to discuss some of the big esports announcements that have been going on. We're going to go over all the expos that we have: the IGN Expo, PC Gamers event, and Guerrilla Gaming. We're going to go a little bit over some of those. And then we're going to wrap things up with the Ubisoft Industry Deep Dive. That was going to be its own thing, but after do the editing and like that, it was only like 10 minutes long. I didn't want to waste you guys' time with that. We'll just add it to the end of this one. Let us know what you guys think of that, because we want to know if it's something we should do in the future and stuff like that. We're always trying to better the show for you guys. Squeaks, what have you been playing lately, man?
Oh man, what I've been playing. So right now, I'm playing a little bit of Valorant, but for everyone that's been following my struggle with the Nintendo Switch, I finally have it back. Okay, and I'm getting close to almost being done with Luigi's Mansion 3.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm powering through that one before it breaks again. So
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
want to start. I don't want to start that over again.
So you lost a lot of your saves because it was a new one. Are you going to
Yes.
replay Pokemon at all?
No, and I don't plan on ever going to. So I couldn't get the save data from the cloud. I don't know why that is. And then as well as the SD formatting being formatted to the old Switch, it won't convert to the new Switch. So I learned there was a trick. Whatever, too late. I know I don't need to hear anybody on how to do it. I know how to do it. It's already too late. So Pokemon is totally wiped, and I don't ever see myself playing it or the expansions. So I'm kind of upset
Snap.
because I was looking forward to the expansions after I beat it, and
Yeah.
then now it's like I'm not playing this game over again.
The game itself was really good too. Like, I think it was one of the better Pokemon that have ever come out. Um,
For sure, I agree. But would you start all over?
I would if I were to go play in Nuzlocke mode, where it's the harder difficulty.
Yeah, yeah. See,
But
I'm
yeah,
just
I
like,
don't know
nah.
about like actually playing it over again. I got too many games on the docket. Makes it tough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have games waiting for me. Link's Awakening, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and then I have Spyro. I picked up the Spyro
Yeah,
remastered,
it's so good.
so
Yeah.
I'm definitely not revisiting Pokemon right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been playing Satisfactory myself. Been doing that on the streams. Uh,
Okay.
a lot of fun. It's kind of, you can just melt away time and not even realize it's gone and stuff like that. And I do a lot of idle play on that too, where I'm like, maybe I'm working on the notes, but I've got that and World of Warcraft up. One's doing auction house and one's just sitting there farming stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so I've got the supplies coming in for those. But it's a really fun game, and the company behind it, I can't remember the name from. Oh, Coffee Stain, I think it is. They have another game they're working on too. So hopefully that's gonna be a good game too, because it seems like a really solid group. They're doing well.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get into some news. We're going to start with some follow ups to the PS5 reveal. That was such a big deal. We had to do a quick episode about it. We do have confirmation that Spider Man Miles Morales will be an entirely new game. It is not an expansion or DLC or anything like that. What did you think of the Spider Man trailer?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
One, it really gets me excited because I really love the first one. So, at first I thought it was DLC. I was like, nah. Then I was like, oh, it's DLC. DLC. I was like, hold on, no, we're showcasing the PS5. There can't be DLC unless you're going to tell me right now that Spider-Man is going to come over to PS5
yeah,
somehow. Um, but I think it's awesome that we're getting a whole new chapter in a whole new. It's like a restart, but it's still continuing. It's gonna feel brand new, which I really like, instead of just Peter Parker with another villain.
yeah.
Um, so I really like how we're handing the torch to Miles, and I'm kind of looking forward because I don't know too much about Miles. I'm a type of person that's just like, I like to stick with the classic. I want to
Right.
see classic Wolverine. Just anything in the original characters. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to playing Miles Morales and what kind of villains that is in his universe.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way. I'm a big Barry Allen fan for Flash and stuff like that. I like the
Gotcha.
originals.
hmm
I am too. It looked really cool. It looked like they're kind of going with some of the darker tones with those stormy nights and stuff like that going on. And
Yeah.
the soundtrack sounded amazing. It looks cool. Very fast paced fighting. Uh, it's stunning. I mean, the PS5 impressed me all around, but it looked really really good.
hmm
We also found out that Control, which has been this kind of quote classic, people are going nuts for Control. It
Oh,
will
they
be
are.
coming to the PS5 and Series X with full ray tracing, and it's just such a massively popular game with all the particle effects they're using during this game. It's just nuts. I had one friend that was just like, when he found out that it's coming to PS5, he's like, that will be game changing for the game itself. Have you had a chance to play Control at all?
That's so crazy. Yeah, so I played a little bit of it, but then got distracted. I think it was during Black Friday, so I was buying a bunch of games
Yeah.
during that time, of course. I played a little bit of it. Do I, now the question is, do I finish it because I have it, or should I wait to play it on the PS5?
Did you get it on the PS5 or the
I have it on
PS4?
Xbox One X.
Okay, so you'll get it on
Um,
the Xbox Series X if you want to buy one of those.
ooh, that's a big purchase for Control, though.
Yeah, gotta be super dedicated to
Um,
a game you haven't finished yet.
so we'll see. It's a super mind twist game. So yeah, you know what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's neat though that we're kind of getting some of the later developed games kind of crossing over to the next generation now.
Yeah, the last game that really of note that did that was like, oh, that's such a good move was Grand Theft Auto, and I thought it was funny that they
Mm,
started off this PS5 event was saying that Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to the PS5, which means it'll be on 3 different generations. It shows the value of that game and how much money it brought into Rockstar. It's so much freaking money. We were talking about it yesterday, and I think it was like 120 million or something like that, or billion it
gosh,
would be.
that's so crazy, and it's
Yeah,
like the online must be huge still.
it
Everybody must be
is.
playing it for it to continue to go.
There are
Um,
mods and constant support for it, and
yeah.
yeah. And I haven't played online. Have you played online?
I played online when it was fairly new, but so that's been a long time on
That's when it was
PS4 though.
bad. Yeah,
But I enjoyed it though. I super love doing heists with other players, and I was like, this is what Grand Theft Auto should be. Online, doing this huge mission, but everybody's taking different roles into that mission. That
yeah,
was Grand Theft Auto.
yeah. I need to give it another shot. Maybe I'll stream that as me, because I remember one time I logged into it. I had some like connection issues, and I was just done. So I haven't really
That
played it
sucks.
before. I
Hmm.
might have to give it another shot. Next up, some those internet sleuths are out there. They found out by measuring the disc tray that the PS5 is going to be the largest system in the modern gaming. And when you actually see it
Oh,
compared to other systems, it's freaking huge. It's way taller than the Series X.
yeah.
It's bigger than the PS3, which has always kind of been this like big system, or the Xbox One, also kind of a bigger system. It's just really long. Not well, it's kind of bulky. It's a little thick if you have the CD tray, but generally a really long system. It's funny because like when I'm seeing these things, one of the first things that pop in my head is like, how's it going to fit on my entertainment system and or center?
Right,
You
yeah.
know, the Xbox is already kind of this weird squared fat shape, and it's like I guess it's going to go on top or something like that. Now with
Yeah,
the
right.
PS5, I'm like, okay, hopefully it can lay on its side fine. Although it doesn't look like it's really meant to at all. Uh, do you think that thing goes sideways or is it just up and down?
You know, it looks like it's made sideways, but if you kind of look at it, it has this curve on the, you would think the bottom part, because if you got the disc version, the tray would possibly on top.
Yeah.
Um, but they're showing it off a lot like it's supposed to be. But you know what? Like the PS4 though, you could do both as well. So I wouldn't put it past that you can lay on inside.
Yeah, it seems like it would be such a hindrance to not do it that way.
Yeah.
Hmm. So we didn't get your opinion on the PS5. What did you think of the system itself and some of the games that they announced?
The system itself, design wise, okay. So I say I will like it, but I'm not in love with it. But I don't hate it. I like the fact that it looks like that next step into the future. It really looks futuristic, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
That it really feels like when I do open this box, that it feels like I'm going with the next generation of gaming. That's kind of why I like the controller a lot when that was first announced. I was really digging the controller. One thing, style wise, I do like how they bring in the light back, the little blue light that's like kind of in the curves or in the grooves of that system.
Hmm.
Um, but I also like the line that they're coming out with the headset to kind of match the same feel. So I think when the PS5 comes out, I will probably plan on buying that headset as well.
Yeah.
Um, um, and what I liked that Xbox always did, and correct me if I'm wrong if PlayStation ever had one, is that the remote that they're making for it. I think that's
PlayStation
awesome.
had one, but Xbox has been really good about pushing it more. But PlayStation does. I know the
Okay.
PS3 one I had, but I like that little remote. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks nice. And I like I mean I use the remote for the Xbox app.
Mhm.
But it'd be kind of nice to, I know Xbox One has a controller. It'd be nice to kind of get one in my hand as well instead of just using an app.
Will you buy the camera
Um,
as well, or no?
I don't think so. Like what for,
Streaming.
right? Yeah, true. It is HD camera, right?
Yeah.
Did they say the specs on it?
No, I think it's but it has two lenses. Um,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. At first thing I was like, oh, that's Connect. But I don't think it's
That's
that.
kind of how I took it. Yeah.
To see the
Um,
Connect was such a bomb that I don't think any company's gonna make that mistake again.
yeah, I think yeah, we're kind of over that. I mean, even Nintendo was smart enough to get out of that well, I mean, they still do the motion, but the yeah, I'm thinking like the Wii, but
Yeah, the
they didn't have a
gimmicky
camera on it.
aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so that's how I feel. Now the one thing I'm kind of questioning is disc with no disc. Is there a price difference? Why are you doing this? Is it literally just because of the shape?
Well,
Like,
speculations are that it's gonna be a $50 difference, and
okay,
a lot of that, like how Daniel threw up a big fuss about this. Um,
yeah.
Discless is the way that they all should be going. To be honest with you,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's just the way of the future, and it's. I understand that there's people that are in a lot of rural areas, and I'm pretty much in that same boat that don't have the option to go discless. But then you should have to buy a separate attachment that plugs into it that they maybe sell like they do with the headphones, because it's such a waste of time for the majority of the gamers, especially outside of this country, where internet is so much faster. Like
Yeah.
it's just crazy that they still. I mean, Xbox One was not going to have a disc, and then because of the outcry, they added the disc. So it kind of just
Yeah.
tells you like, at this point, we still have the problem. I don't know.
So what do you think it's just people that love hard copies that don't want to let go and move to the future? Like they
No, I
need that collection?
there probably is some that are that way, but I think a lot of it is that there's people who don't have the internet connection to be able to reliably download games. So they would shut off a lot of their rural market if they were to do that. We
Mm.
just gotta get everybody on board with faster internet. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
insane.
even at that, when I buy the newest Call of Duty and I put it in, it still takes like 3 hours to freaking download, and it doesn't even feel a difference to me.
If you are you saying if you like put in the disc to download it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing is a lot of times now they have these like install processes, so it's still gonna take a long time. But some of these, the rural communities, it takes days to download these 90 gig games. So, I mean, or I remember when I was over at the other house with the with like the 1 megabyte or under, it took me 2 weeks to download Shadow of War.
yeah. That's crazy.
People are
Um,
beating the game before I get it downloaded.
yeah. So, but you're right though. Like the to get that change, or whatever, where everybody can go to diskless. Um, but I think I'm going that route finally.
Yeah,
Um, and so okay, cool. It's a $50 difference. I mean, that's not really gonna like that doesn't really do much for me, really. It's not a huge difference to me, but I think I am going diskless for because I'm making that move to finally just
yeah,
because the thing is like okay, here's one thing. Okay, now it has 4K HD, 4K HD player.
hmm
That's fine, but then we're getting to this point where streaming will eventually just all be 4K streaming,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like all of
So
Amazon Prime is, or a majority of Amazon Prime is,
yeah,
stuff like that.
exactly.
Yeah,
So movies physical. I mean, why is it? It's almost phasing out. Period. Because I used to be a huge
oh yeah,
person to collect Disney movies. That my thing was a Disney movie collection. I have a bunch of them, and now it's like since Disney Plus is like, well, it's super more convenient. I don't have to pay really anything for and I get them all.
yeah.
Um, so I just don't see a hold on to disc games. What was Daniel's argument for having a disc tray still?
He's stuck in his ways, and
Yeah.
you and me and him all have DVD collections. But even I understand that now mine's becoming like a record collection, where it's something you don't necessarily use often, but it is something
Exactly.
that you are proud of. Daniel's
Yeah.
still, I think, stuck a little bit more in the I use those more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be a bit, and he has some stellar internet. Of course, he throws out the cash for it. So I'm
Yeah.
really surprised by that. For me, as long as it has USB support, because there's sometimes where if it's not streamable, I'll procure a video another way, and I need to be able to have a USB input, which everything has that now.
which
It's
which the
perfect.
PS5 did show on the front, right? It had that USB.
Yeah, actually, I think it has
Yeah, I'm pretty
two of
confident.
them.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I did see two as well. Um, so that's how I feel about the system itself. The conference I enjoyed a lot. And what I liked most, and I think many could agree is that we actually got a little bit of gameplay of a
Yes.
majority of the games, and that was nice that I actually got to see a little bit of say the Kinna Bridge of Spirits, if I'm saying that one
Dude,
right.
how
Like that
cool did
one
that
was kind of
look?
yeah, extremely pretty.
Yeah.
One that really caught my eye, which I think I'm gonna pick up right away, is Ghostwire Tokyo.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
When you're just if you remember like just being in Tokyo and there's like all these ghosts and stuff, you're like, what the heck is going on? But I think I'm gonna catch that for sure. Um, uh, yeah, a little bit of the what's it called, Gran Turismo. Um,
That surprised me
so
too,
and
because I'm not normally like, I'm gonna go out and buy that racing game. But I was like,
yeah,
I might go out and buy that racing game.
yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I played Forza's for sure,
Yeah.
and those were always nice. But I never played a Gran Turismo, so maybe I'll finally do it. But the one thing I did not like the gameplay of being in the driver's seat. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're trying to show me a beautiful environment, sitting in the driver's seat is not the way to do it. So
Right.
that's kind of their fault. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that we actually got to see gameplay of quite a bit of games that were shown off.
Yeah, they did. You know, I'm Mr. Xbox over here, but I have to admit they
Hmm.
killed Xbox with their last, compared to the last Xbox one.
Yeah.
They just showed game after game that looked amazing, and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of debut titles that I was like, I need to own that. That is so cool.
How I don't want to forget. I don't want to get past this one, but how beautiful was Ratchet and Clank?
Oh my god, dude! And
Oh
it
my
showed the
goodness.
power of the SSD. The way that they're able to port around so fast, that's the SSD giving you that ability.
That
And
is so insane. It
uh,
feels like one big level loaded, but it's like
yes,
a whole different universe. This is crazy.
yeah, and the particles going on at one time is something I was saying during our thing. The particles going on one time on your screen was just like, geez, it's so nuts that there's that much
Yeah.
going on. It impressed the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie, very impressed by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at
Yeah.
the end of this month, guys, I don't know. I don't know if I've confirmed this with you or not. You and me are gonna do an Xbox versus PlayStation debate, and I know you're not on board with this, but we're gonna have the listeners actually vote on which system I buy. So
Oh
I
man,
may
you're
be a
so
PS5
crazy.
guy now. Let's see what the listeners say. All right, let's move on to the next thing. So there was
Oh,
a
real quick though, Frank,
yes.
there is an image of the PlayStation laying on its side, so it looks like that is a
Oh, good.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
It needs to be to fit into where my TV goes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll just have it next to the couch, I guess. Okay, so we have a new Star Wars game that got leaked. It was an unannounced Star Wars game titled Star Wars Squadron, and it was leaked through Xbox.com. They ended up posting up the actual like pre-order thing for it. Since then, EA has confirmed it and said that they will do an official reveal on the 15th. Now, here's our problem. This game is getting revealed on the day this podcast comes out. So we will go into the details on the following episode. Um, or during a big, press pause announcement thing if Xbox wants to do something. The artwork shows a Rebel and Imperial TIE fighter, and it looks pretty cool. So there's some rumors that are leaking out that it might be like a free-to-play game, that it's kind of like the space battles from the old Battlefront 2. What do you think about this?
I don't know if I like this free to play thing. I kind of want a story with it or whatnot. I mean, if
Yeah.
that's what we're still going to get out of it,
Yeah,
you
it might be
think?
a battle royale in space, though.
I'm a little bit iffy on battle royales, but even though I've been
You've
playing
been
quite a few battle
spamming two
royales.
of them a lot right now.
Yeah, I have, but I'm still iffy on battle royales. Now, one thing I do love, and I like how there's two sides of Star Wars, the dark side, light side. And I
Right.
love how they look like from the recent posters that's been released. It looks like we're getting these opportunities to pick, like, okay, what side? Picking or at least dividing it up for us. I'm a fucking dark side all the way,
Same,
so anytime
same,
you can
same.
put me in a TIE fighter, like, I'm a happy person, you know?
Yeah, and then from the poster, it showed like a sunset on both of them. So that's another one. Just one thing I like too is it showed like the Tie Fighter and the X-wing, and then it said pilots wanted underneath it. There's a sunset
Hmm.
behind them. So the color palette used shows that it's not like you're choosing to be bad. You're just choosing to work
Mm,
for the Empire.
okay.
So I kind of like that too, where it was like maybe if there is a story, it'll be about the political drama. Because if you look at like Star Wars Old Republic, when you got to play as an Empire player, so many things were about like, these freaking Sith are really screwing things up. We have a functioning community here, that's keeping peace throughout the galaxy. And we have the Sith that are over there worshiping some old relics that are really messing us up. So I loved that part of it. It really showed like
Yeah.
more in-depth stuff in the Empire. Hopefully this game gives us a little hint of that.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that'd be awesome. I mean, anything that could expand the Star Wars universe that we all love would be amazing, and to get us a different viewpoints. So if we are just flying, the whole game is about flying, then why not learn a little bit more of, flying lifestyles of in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I'm always down for that. And
I'm just still waiting for a pod racing game.
pod racing, definitely. I'm a little worried that if this is free to play, then we're gonna have a bunch of skins you can buy and all that stuff. I'm like,
Oh,
that's dumb. Yet I do want flames on my TIE fighter, so I don't know.
oh man, just pull my wallet out right now. I already do it for Fortnite.
You're not actually buying Fortnite money, are you? With
I have a
V-Bucks?
few skins. I have a few skins.
Oh no, we've lost some guys. All right, next up we have just an article from Matthew Bird of Den Geeks. He's a hell of a good writer. He's one of the two writers that I really follow. So check out Matthew Bird, guys. But he was talking about how WB Games is up for sale. And so a report from CNBC suggests that AT&T is looking to sell Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment gaming division, which includes like Rocksteady Games, NetherRealm Studios, and Moonlit. The report claims that the parties are interested in purchasing Warner Brothers are Take-Two Interactive, which I thought Take-Two was smaller than they were, but when I was doing the research for the Ubisoft thing, they're actually like the third highest. Electronic Arts and Activision Blizzard. So that's actually the three big dogs right there. Let's stop there and think about this. Warner Brothers, they have Lego games, Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
Harry Potter, Batman, and Shadow of War universe, all the Lord of the Rings stuff. Which of those companies do you think can handle those IP the best?
Oh man. I think. Fuck, I don't want to say it, but I'm gonna go with Activision or EA.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to see Ubisoft kind of get in there and do a little bit of Harry Potter, different games with Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But I think big wise, because we already see, we might be iffy on how EA does Star Wars games, but they're already taking this huge name brand, so I think they might be comfortable with doing more of that.
Yeah, but how do you think they did with that big name brand? Do you think they're doing good with the Star
Well,
Wars games?
I mean, Battlefront's. I think I enjoy Battlefront too.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast with that game. Then recently, Jedi Fallen Order. It's a story game, and that's all it is. So
Mhm.
you do it, you beat it once. I mean, you're kind of done. But I
It's
was a
kind of
little iffy
nice
on.
too,
Yeah,
actually.
it is nice, but I don't think I was a huge fan of the game. Period.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got me there. Yeah, you might be right. I would like to Ubisoft though. I think Ubisoft could do it.
Yeah,
I think
they
Ubisoft
didn't
could pull off a
mention them
Harry
up
Potter
there,
game.
but I actually think Ubisoft would be best, or Ubisoft would be best for the open world aspect too. Like I would like a Harry Potter game where think of in the veins of Assassin's Creed, where it's that wide, where you're able to go
Hmm.
around and discover
Hmm.
new points, and like, oh, I'm heading over to whatever alley, and then doing this. I don't know. It just feels like it'd be really cool to explore that world. And I think, and then of course, Batman and Shadow of War, both these open world games that could really benefit from Ubisoft. Uh,
Oh, for sure.
it's unfortunate that Activision Blizzard, like I would like for Blizzard to have these IPs, but Blizzard wouldn't want them. It would be Activision that would take them.
Oh,
And
for sure.
I can't imagine Activision doing a good job. Maybe with the Mortal Kombat, but I can't see them doing good with everything else. And
Well, then you have to
yeah,
think if is this company that's gonna like, let's just say Activision buys it, are they gonna have a lot of influence on the games? Or are they gonna keep the developers like you're not gonna get rid of Ed Boon on Mortal Kombat?
right.
There'd be outcry. So how much will Activision play a role? It's kind of like because I want to see something new in these universes. I don't want to just see Harry Potter Lego games. I want to see
Yeah.
a real Harry Potter game. Can you do something different with Batman to expand the universe, but maybe I don't know, different something different. At least give me something different than Batman and make it a fucking I don't know Green Lantern game or something. I don't know.
There
Um,
was the problem, the reason, so like Bungie left, we're going to talk about Bungie next with the Division 2 stuff, but uh,
mm,
Bungie left because Activision had them on a schedule saying you guys have to put out a new product every fall. They gave them like the fall block. You guys need to put out
yeah,
something every fall so that we can keep the numbers up for a company wide thing. You can't want that for Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat makes these really cool introductory characters, RoboCop and stuff like that. And even I, who doesn't really play Mortal Kombat, I love watching what's coming with RoboCop or Joker or whoever. Uh, if Activision had that, they would be on a schedule to release one of those every 2 months. Like they wouldn't let them stop. And while on face value, that's cool, you're gonna get more characters. That just means you're gonna be putting out more games for less developed characters. You know what I'm saying? And I think we'll get that for everything. Even if a Harry Potter comes out, it may be really good at first, but then every year will be a new expansion for Harry Potter that might, ruin things.
Then you might have to go. Then I think Ubisoft would be best, and the reason why I say that because Activision has them on this, say 1 year schedule. Well, Ubisoft learned that lesson with Assassin's Creed, and they're trying to push out Assassin's Creed every year, and then it just kind of get to this point where like all these Assassin's Creed games kind of suck, and then now we're seeing a little slower pace, and hopefully with Valhalla. I mean, Odyssey was okay. I'm not a huge fan of Odyssey. I thought Origins was good, but hopefully Valhalla is another example of hey, if we sit back, take our time, um, we could create a way better game.
The problem with Ubisoft too is I think they're valued at, like, we're gonna again, I say it here later on in this episode. Jared's gonna find the exact value, but I think it was around 5.5 billion, and the going price for the WB Games would be 4 billion. It would be a huge undertaking for Ubisoft to buy them.
Yeah. Wow.
When EA could handle it, you know what I'm saying? Epic could handle it. They got Fortnite money running in. It would be tough. And then one thing that Matthew Bird had speculated is he thinks it'd be good for Xbox to buy them. Xbox has the money. Microsoft's, just a big cash cow. And Xbox is in need of exclusives. PlayStation has this whole stable that's just beating out Xbox in exclusive bragging rights. If they can grab your Shadow of Wars and your Harry Potter, think of if Mortal Kombat was exclusive to the Xbox, it would be insane.
As you're saying that, one, that'd be an insane move from Xbox, and I'll give them credit if they actually can do something like that.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. To pull Mortal Kombat, or even all the Lego games, and for sure Batman, Shadow of War, to pull those all on one console and say, sorry, Mortal Kombat, I don't know if you'll make as much sales, but, we'll cut you a deal and you're only going to be exclusive. Oh my god, that'd be insane.
Yeah.
That'd be the craziest move, and yeah, that'd be a crazy ass move.
It would give Xbox such a huge advantage because they already have the advantage of, like, it's just a stronger system. It's the more powerful system, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of during the PlayStation thing, they did not mention the term teraflops once. And yet that is the term everybody uses to explain how powerful your system is. It's because they're behind. And the PS5 has many things to be proud of, and you're not going to really notice the difference. The average player definitely won't. But those exclusivities is what's pushing everybody towards PS5 over the Xbox if there was a reason to go. And like the Lego games, that gives you that Nintendo Switch competition because Lego's so big out there. Man, I think I'm looking at the list, and while I love all the IPs they would be able to grab, I know Mortal Kombat. If they were to lock in Mortal Kombat, holy cow, you wouldn't keep Xboxes on the shelf. Not only that, lock it in, and then, like, I don't know if they're working on a new Mortal Kombat, but say it's a launch title. Like, they could get that to happen, holy shit, you'd sell some Xboxes.
Oh, for sure, because Mortal Kombat's my favorite fighting game, and I can't ever see myself going in through life without a Mortal Kombat game in it. Yeah. So I would definitely buy an Xbox for it. Think of how hype they could make the esports for Mortal Kombat too. If Xbox had a little presence in there, I think they would do a lot better job with just advertising and whatnot.
And it would go good with their cloud gaming that they're doing, all the cloud gaming for xCloud or whatever it is. It would be perfect. You could play Mortal Kombat on your phone super easily. It would be pretty amazing. We'll have to see how things go. That was all speculations. Right now, it's the big three that are after them. But I'm hoping this doesn't affect all those good IPs. I hate for somebody like Activision to buy them, and then all of a sudden we're getting these rush jobs that really hurt the game overall. Yeah. So let's move on to the future of Destiny 2. This is a company, Bungie, that left Activision because they felt like they were being pushed too hard. They made a promise to their players back when the game first came out that they would put out a game that was going to last 10 years. Activision forced them to make Division 2 before putting out too many expansions for Division 1. I'm sorry, I keep saying Division. I mean Destiny. And so now, with Destiny 2 fully under their own control, they have announced 3 new expansions coming up, one for each year. So the expansions are called Beyond Light, The Witch Queen, and Lightfall. What do you think about Bungie's approach to Destiny 2, expanding the life of the game?
Well, I think it's, I think it's pretty smart.
Yeah.
For the fact that it's pulling me back in. I told myself I'm not gonna play Destiny 2,
Hmm.
anymore. Like I put quite a bit of hours on it. I got the expansions, didn't really play them afterwards. But now it's like getting this since they're coming on the next systems, like this revive, and it's
Yeah.
like, now it has my attention. So now it's like, maybe I will like kind of get my hands back into Destiny 2.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. I think because we're just used to like if this game was just called Destiny, I could
Hmm.
see it to be like this whole 10-year game. But with Destiny 2, it just feels so wrong. Maybe because I'm so used to World of Warcraft, right? It's just World of Warcraft and
That
then expansion name.
Well, yeah, that is why, because if you look at Final Fantasy
Yeah.
14, is their MMO,
Hmm.
it does fine, and then there's Guild Wars 2,
Yeah.
is that MMO. So there are a lot of sequel ones. You and me both participate in the original, so
Yeah.
that is one thing. But I actually, so I bought the original game and loved playing it. I never really played the expansions. Got other games to play,
Yeah.
but this one seems like the one to go back to. So Beyond Light's our first one, right? And then
Hmm.
the story, it's going to be focused on trying to control the darkness, which is the big bad of the whole series.
Yeah.
And it's meant to sort of combine all the mixed match narratives going on into one story so that new players, when they join back in, they kind of know what's going on. They don't feel like they're being overwhelmed with this crazy long story. So,
Okay.
this is a good time for me to come back in. I think I might actually try this to play this again.
Now, if you if you put in Destiny 2 and this expansion is out, are we starting at that expansion?
I think I'm not sure, but I think for this one they would do that because they're
And
also
then,
adding like the time walking thing called Destiny Content Vault. So you're still gonna be able to try out all the old stuff. You don't necessarily need to play through it because you're gonna be able to try it again as they are on a rotation to come back for players to try out.
okay, and then if so, I was gonna ask if there's like how World of Warcraft does it right now, where you could kind of if you pre-purchase, you get this certain level character to start off with, so you don't have to be so far behind starting
Yeah,
at the original Destiny 2. I wonder if they'll do something like that as well.
that would be a smart move, or at least do thing like where hey, after you level, once you hit max level, you'll get a crate that just gives you gear that's like really bad or
Okay.
like decently bad gear. But if you were to play the game the whole time, you'd be okay. You know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
where it's like
Okay.
this is gear
Okay.
you need to do the next expansion. Essentially, that would be nice.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So players will be traveling to Jovian, which is a moon of Europa, and they're going to be fighting a brand new faction they're putting into the game that's going to be loyal to the darkness. So I'm not sure if they're going to be getting rid of the darkness after this expansion. I just think that they're setting it up to actually be to return as the real bad guy. And with this new faction, it's going to be a faction that will probably be battling throughout 3 expansions, and kind of set up this idea of like something that'll continue to always be a problem. Like, okay, going back to World of Warcraft, the Void Lords, or like the Lich King's always been somebody to worry about. So something like that, something that actually is a concern because sometimes the darkness fades out and we're like, oh yeah, we're worried about these one dudes, and it feels like, yeah, isn't there a big darkness coming in that we should be concerned about? It's like, oh no, don't worry about that yet. So it'll be interesting. I'm down for this, and I think I'm actually coming back. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I will too. I think I will. It does have my attention right now for sure.
yeah. Next up, we have some more Batwoman drama. It feels like every week there's some more Batwoman news after Ruby Rose left. So, Ruby Rose says she's not coming back for season 2. A little refresher for everybody. But we have 2 important leaks that actually reveal the future of the series. First off, we know that they're not going to just recast Kate Kane. They're actually going to go for a whole new character they're inventing for the show. They'll be taking the cowl, and they're going to be killing off Kate Kane, which is the real Batwoman, to make sense for this. So I think this is the best way to go about this because you don't have these like weird things where people are seeing this because there's a lot of crossovers. So if you had Barry Allen come over and like, oh, let's work together, Batwoman, and it'd be like, oh, you look a little different, ha ha ha, and try to go. You know what I'm saying? That feels
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
cringy. This
Yeah.
makes more sense to me. Do you think that's a good way to go?
I think so. Because if it wasn't something like this, it was something that I brought up earlier, where you just throw someone in there, but you just kind of go with the flow and pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah,
So I kind of like that they're doing a little thing for it to make it fit in.
yeah. I like that idea better. And then we have a new storyline too, so it'd be kind of like where you're seeing her become Batwoman, and that arc could be interesting to watch. Um,
Yeah.
we know that the new Batwoman will be Ryan Wilder, who's inspired to pick up the cowl after the new villain of the series, Scarecrow, kills her brother. So I love that we have Scarecrow coming in. He's going to be this like whole series bad guy. This guy, kind of like I can't remember his name, but the bad guy for Black Lightning. He's always the bad guy. And while he has lackeys that he's fighting, there's always that one big bad. Kind of like for Daredevil, there's always Kingpin. So Scarecrow, phenomenal bad guy, and he's very CGI friendly because gas is cheap to make. You just do green gas here and there. That's like, oh, look at that. The only CGI you really need for Scarecrow is when somebody's tripping out. And you don't necessarily need to always show them tripping. And Scarecrow's just a phenomenal bad guy. I think he needs some more rep. What do you think about Scarecrow coming in as a big bad?
Yeah, Scarecrow's my favorite character in the Batman universe. And I like how there's been so many different versions of him from the video games and the animated series and the movies. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what their take for Scarecrow is for these TV series.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited. Hopefully they still do a little twisted. I wasn't a huge fan of the Christian Bale Scarecrow. But hopefully they kind of get like this really twisted looking Scarecrow. I mean, they've done a good job with not with them, but Gotham and Joker. Like I thought he did pretty decently well, that actor. I got high hopes for the Scarecrow.
Yeah, the Gotham Joker who was in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
That's right,
yeah. Yeah, I actually liked Christian Bale's Scarecrow mostly because of Peaky Blinders. It's the same guy, but it's Tommy. But I liked how they kept him in the other two movies. Like that to me felt like, okay, then that's the real Batman villain, because Batman villains are always toying around with Gotham. They're not just like, I'm in, I'm Bane, and then I'm out, and I'm not going to be seen again kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. Last up for news, we're going to go over, we finally have a pretty good sized list of all the movies coming out with their new release dates. So let's look at 2020. We have 3 big movies to talk about. New Mutants is getting an August 28th release date. Not going to guarantee that because, man, that movie has been shuffled around so much. Are you even excited to see that anymore? I'm totally not on board.
Just let it come out on a streaming service. Other than that, I don't care.
They should have done that. That's the only reason I would actually go out and watch it. I don't know if I'm going to watch this at all. It stinks of Fox, and I'm so done with Fox's X-Men. So
I am too.
October 2nd, this is the first one on the list that I cannot wait for. That is Wonder Woman, 1984. Everything about this looks good. We finally have some visuals of Cheetah, and they just went for it. It's full on Cheetah. So Wonder Woman, I cannot wait for this. What do you think about Wonder Woman? Are we going to the theaters for this one?
I would love to. I mean, I love the first one. Little iffy on the kind of like the villain towards the end. But I love Wonder Woman. So if this is an opportunity for me to get back in the movie theater seats because of what we've been going through, then I would love to have Wonder Woman be my first movie to go back and see.
That's my goal. If everything's down enough, because I'm okay with being extra precautious. That's why we're still recording remotely. But I'm hoping by October 2nd, everything's cool. I'm going to go see Wonder Woman. That's my goal.
Yeah.
And then November 6th is going to be Black Widow. That's going to be my E3 my BlizzCon replacement, since that's when BlizzCon normally would be. So I'm going to go all out for Black Widow. Maybe I'll do some cosplay for that. And
okay.
That's like 6 months after it's supposed to be released, which is pretty nuts. All these movies are like, a lot of them are done. You know what I'm saying? To think that they're coming out so much later than they were already completed is pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm excited for Black Widow. I think that's going to be a good one.
I am too. I think I am too. I'm a little... I'm kind of hoping that we get that spy movie feel,
Yes.
But I'm a little iffy with the character that I'm going to say his name, Stranger Things, Hopper.
Yeah.
I'm a little iffy on that character. But other than that, pretty excited to see the spy feel movie, and hopefully it's like that.
I hope he's not too much comedy relief, and it looks like that's what they're making him. Just the jokes.
Oh man, I'm so tired of jokesters in Marvel movies right now.
Yeah, they gotta cool it. I mean, we have Spider-Man; that's his job. But everybody else can just like be good heroes. Be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so for 2021, I'm just gonna list them all, and then we'll go over what we're excited for the most. So for 2021, we have Eternals coming out on February 2nd. That's close to Valentine's Day. Morbius will be here March 19th. Shang-Chi will be May 7th. Then we have Venom, Let There Be Carnage will be June 25th. We have The Suicide Squad, the new one, will be August 6th. We have The Batman, October 1st. which they should have done the 31st, whatever. Spider-Man 3 will be November 5th, and Black Adam December 22nd. Next year is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to have a hard time narrowing these down, but I'm going to pick a couple of them that I'm really excited for. Shang-Chi was
Okay.
going to be really cool. The Batman, I cannot wait for this. I hope it's the restart of all of Batman's. And then Black Adam. There's some hints that we're going to have Spider-Man return for this, or Superman return for this. Shazam's going to be in it. And then we have The Rock joining DC movies. And I think he's going to carry
Crazy.
DC into the future. What are you
And
excited for out of this?
I could totally agree with you. I think if you get this insanely superstar actor to play in this the DC universe, it'll definitely carry it. Now, how long will we have him in the DC universe is one question. How long are we going to keep Black Adam a villain in the DC universe? Uh, so I can't imagine that The Rock is just going to play one movie.
Right.
Yeah, he's got to pop in here and there.
I think he'll be
Then
there
that gets me.
Thanos, which I'm down with.
Yeah, no, for sure. But then that gets me thinking. Spider-Man 3 always has high-profile actors for villains.
Yeah.
So can DC do the same thing, starting with Black Adam? And that'd be awesome to see. But besides that, I think for what I'm excited for the most, I'm really hoping Morbius is going to be really good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited when I saw the trailer. I'm excited for the Batman as well and Black Adam. Those are my three if I had to pick a top three.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good list. I'm hoping Venom's going to be solid. I don't have high hopes for it, but and
Yeah, after the last one, I don't at all.
yeah, and then James Gunn getting in there on the Suicide Squad. This could be the start of a Suicide
Ooh,
Squad over again.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That might raise my interest more now. I kind of forgot. I did forget about that.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of Pete Davidson. He's in the Suicide Squad now. And after The King of Staten Island, which is a movie he just released, it's getting all kinds of.
What? You're a fan of him?
Oh, I love him. Oh yeah, totally.
Oh
Man.
my God, I think he's horrible.
Everything he does is amazing.
Oh my God, that is so fucking mind blown right now.
I'm a big SNL fan, so that's why.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, we'll see. But I think he's trash. What the fuck is he playing in Suicide Squad?
I don't know the character name. They've been keeping quiet on all the characters' names.
God dang
But
it.
he's in that.
Great. Yeah, you had me excited. Now I'm not excited at all for this movie.
Well, his movie, The King of Staten Island, has done so well that there's like Oscar buzz for it, man. So he might
Really,
be.
I've heard good things about it, but I choose not to watch it because of him.
I still haven't watched it, but I will be watching it. It's on Amazon Prime if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, hopefully it's good. Fingers crossed, you know. All right, that's going to be it for our news. We're heading over to the esports desk, guys. Squeaks, do you have anything you want to mention on esports? I know we had some Overwatch stuff going on.
Yeah, I want to talk briefly on the Overwatch and the cheater that just happened. Did you hear about this?
I heard about
What's
that. I
his
was hoping
name?
you'd want to talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, Tree Top. What's his name? Tree something?
I don't remember. I just
Oh,
love how much
goodness
Shock is
gracious.
talking shit.
Are they really?
Oh man, they are, dude. Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
They hold on real quick. They linked out to an article, and like Corey, the VP over there, everybody retweeted. So they linked out to an article. You go to the article, and all it says is "get good." It's just so great.
Oh man. So apologize for botching this guy's name. It's Tree something. I
If
forgot.
he's gonna
but-
cheat, we don't need him to say he doesn't deserve it.
but apparently his rank was like 11,000 something, and I was like, it goes that high, right?
Yeah.
And I think the one, even like the one right under him was like a couple thousand under at like 8, I think.
Yeah.
And so apparently that Overwatch, I don't know how they detect these things, and I'm too dumb to even try to figure these things out. But had a third party assist on Overwatch, and I saw some of his gameplay, so I don't really know what was really helping him. It's not like he was, getting in this is saying it's not like aim assist. It's not like he was getting this the same amount of headshots or anything.
Mhm.
But I guess they contacted him, and I don't know if he really like rebutted it or not. And then anyway, at the end of the day, Overwatch banned him from playing, or Blizzard banned him from Overwatch.
Yeah.
Which is, oh my God, the time you have to put in, which I don't think that part is cheating. The time you have to put in to get level 11,000 is insane.
It's your life. It's every day.
And it's like to get banned from it, like all that's gone. That's basically like, even worse than sending your Switch into the repair center and it come back empty.
It's up there. I don't know if it's that bad, but it's up there. But I mean, it's the equivalent of embezzling from a company, right? You're cheating to
Yeah,
enrich yourself from a company at the company's expense.
yeah,
Totally
that's true.
deserves
I
the ban, in
mean,
my opinion. I mean, it sucks. He should have. I mean, it just sucks. But
yeah.
who knows how long he's been doing it?
Yeah, and like what you said, he's making money probably streaming and sponsors and whatever for a game that he's cheating on. So it's kind of like that's BS when you got other people that don't have that opportunity that are probably just as good for the fact that, you're cheating. Who knows what your real skills are, really?
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Uh,
wish I knew what he was using though. I wish I knew what assistance he was having
yeah. So you
with
can
the
get
cheating.
yourself you can get that download. I see how it is.
Well, I mean,
We
yeah.
don't need it. We're already, we're trying to get into Team Portugal over here.
That's right. That's right.
Um, but yeah, so I did see a screenshot. Somebody was like highlighting that there's like this like color overlay. It's real faint, but I guess that had something to do with it. Um, yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I was trying to find more about it, but so much of it was just trolls. It's really kind of hard
Yeah,
to
yeah.
shift. Like esports news, normally there's just a ton of information because they're happy to give it. This one is just like a bunch of memes, and I'm like, that's great and all, but can you guys give me the details on this? And nothing.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a couple things as well. First off, we have a CSGO match actually got stopped from a PC problem, and I just thought it was amusing and kind of like, why would you guys mess this up so bad? But so they're in the middle of this tournament, and they found themselves in the lead. Vitality was in the lead by 6-2, and they were doing amazing. And then all of a sudden, everything stops. The commentators don't know what's going on. They're like, everybody's kind of like, what's going on? Everybody had to restart. They had to stop the match. What it was, and this has actually happened to me during raiding. Windows forced an update on one of the computers, and made everybody stop the game. Apparently, you can like change the settings and make sure that Windows doesn't force updates, but if you postpone it long enough, the computer will just force you to do it. It
Yeah.
picked the middle of a tournament for tons of cash to do this. It was what's his name? It's ZYW0O. He's the one that had the issue, and he's the one that kept putting it off. So finally, once the commentators were able to realize what it was, everybody's talking smack the whole thing and the whole match now. Like, dude, why don't you update your damn PC? It's one of those things that like your grandpa calls you and it's like, hey, I don't know what's going on. It's like, just update it. And here's this like 19-year-old kid who's a professional computer player having an
Right.
issue. The delay actually helped out, or didn't necessarily help the team. Everybody thought like, oh, this is going to mess up their run. They ended up kicking butt, going to 16-3. I mean, they were clearly dominating. It wasn't even a problem. They eventually did lose out in the whole tournament, with Ninja Pajamas going ahead, and then Mirage on Mirage with a 16-5 loss, and then what was it? I think it was. Oh no, I haven't seen the winner of it yet, but it was going up against FaZe Clan, which FaZe Clan, they're going to win it. So
Yeah.
pretty
Dominant.
crazy, yeah.
I
And
think
then
I think the good thing out of this though is that they did not win because of this era. I didn't want to see like a 49ers versus Ravens 2012 Super Bowl where the lights just shut
you're
off
not going to forget that
and then
one.
like the no I won't and then the momentum was turning. You're like, oh my god! So if that team would have won and this happened, I would have like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
the dominance continued. At least it was still kind of everybody on the same mood.
Yeah.
We have another thing I want to talk about here with CSGO. There's this legal battle going on with CSGO. So Jampy, which is one of the pro players for them, he's now competing under ENCE. That's his team. And anyway, so he filed a lawsuit in March up against CSGO, saying that his account got banned, and they're saying, oh, it's because you were cheating, that he got a VAC ban and stuff like that. And then his argument is like, oh no, I made multiple accounts, which happens even like not pros. Like Daniel does this on League of Legends kind of thing like that, where you have one account that's like, I'm going to work on getting the rank up on this one, and another account that's for fun. Well, he had one of these for fun accounts, and he ended up selling it to his friend because he had unlocks and stuff on there, like that on there. And then the friend got banned, but that ban went towards his account name and ended up getting everything banned, which takes out his livelihood and everything like that. So him and his lawyer are suing Valve for 266,000 euros, and trying to get the ban removed. That's their main thing, and then all this money as well. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think about this? Do you think that he should have been banned because technically it was his friend that was cheating? Or is selling the account kind of, that to me feels like a reason to be banned? I don't know. It's kind of this weird thing.
Is this proof though? Is there proof that for sure that it wasn't him touching it? Because that'd be my thing. If I was the game company, like, okay, well, everything's in your name, so I can't blame you for it because you're the irresponsible person for having the account and then selling it because of whatever perks were on it, you know?
They are providing
Uh,
proof that it's not him that was playing it, but I don't necessarily know if it's good enough proof.
yeah, what do you think as a company? Do you think like, well, you're the irresponsible one and you know?
Personally, yeah, I mean, we I tend to side on the video game companies on this one because it's so uh, there's just not enough regulations in esports right now, so it's really hard to figure out which way to go with things. And in a situation like this, I know many games if you sell an account, that's a bannable offense, and he's
Yeah.
claiming that he did do that, but that's apparently wasn't bannable, and therefore he should be able to go past it. And I don't know. I think right there should be the reason to go. The account was active from 2015. I mean, that's when he sold the account to his friend. Uh, so it's like, dude, I mean, I don't know. It's been around for a long time. That's 4 or 5 years that the guy's been playing on it to finally get banned. They should have plenty of records showing where the IP address was for that particular account. I don't know.
Do you think? Yeah, it's kind of tough because you selling the account. You're selling the account because it's like, okay, what you got these little perks or whatever. And you're like, okay, you can have it. It's for fun. It's not really like helping you do anything
Hmm.
or improve your skill. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not like I don't know. It's not like murder or anything. I mean, it's nothing like the account is helping you improve your skill and gameplay. It's just probably some cosmetic shit or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to be like a responsible person, I mean, your name's all over that account.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think if you sell the account and then you're going to become a pro, it's your responsibility to make sure that everything under your name, which is like just like any other company, Pepsi doesn't
Yeah,
sell something and then like oh it's going to be fine. You
for
have
sure.
to make sure that everything under your name is accountable. Especially I mean you're a pro in that game. You got to watch over
Yeah.
your friend and like I would just not let anybody have my account. That seems like an
Yeah.
easy one, but
Yeah.
um I don't know, 266,000. That seems pretty steep for the lawsuit.
Dang.
We'll see how it goes. All right, last up, this is something that you and me are going to try. Uh
Yes, we are.
there's an exploit that was discovered on Sombra, and it's wreaking havoc in the games. So there's a video that was posted to Reddit. And what it is when you have a Mei and a Sombra together, they do this little trick where there's certain maps that have these basketballs, right? And you and me are always constantly playing with those. You're trying to make a
Yes.
hoop. We still have yet to do that. Uh,
I'm horrible.
but your brother somehow got it done.
Oh my
Um,
God, that guy.
yeah, Sombra has this ability to teleport to her beacon. So what she does is she puts a beacon on a basketball. They let it roll outside of the starting zone, and then Mei launches into the air by lifting up ice below it. Then once it's high all the way up into the air, Sombra teleports to it and gets stuck above the actual map's level, and she's able to stay up there. Once up there, she's able to shoot down at enemies without being attacked back. She's even above Pharah's and Mercy's and stuff like that. So it's this crazy thing where she's just sitting there above the skybox, untouchable, and there hasn't been anything to shut this down yet. So people are like, oh my god, there's a Mercy and a Mei, so we know, or a Sombra and a Mei, we know what's gonna happen. Like everybody's just
Yeah.
exploiting the hell out of this. Uh, I don't know. We got to try this out, man. It's just crazy.
I want to try it out because I just want to experience like what other people are seeing besides just being in the video or watching the video. But the
Yeah.
thing is like how far, because I haven't seen the video, how far is how high is she up? Is it hard to aim
It is, and her weapons
with
are
low
very
attackers?
close range. So you're mostly
Exactly,
just a
yeah.
nuisance, not necessarily winning the game for your team.
Yeah, so I don't really I mean I understand if you were like a Widowmaker and you're hanging out up there.
Right. Yeah.
But for Sombra, I don't really see like how much that she does or how much damage can she put out being that far away.
Yeah. If it
Um,
was somebody that has, because you also can't affect or use any of her effects, which is where Sombra's. I mean, her weapons are really secondary. She
there you
is
go,
all
yeah.
about shutting down people with hacks and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, she's not very effective. I think it's just a fun nuisance, and I think
You
that
know,
might be why it hasn't been shut down yet by Overwatch. It's surely going to be soon, but I think that's why they're kind of dragging their feet on it because they're like, well, I mean, what are they going to do? They're actually making their team go 5 to 6, realistically,
yeah, right. Now thinking about it, can you do this with the Symmetra? Can you? Probably not though, because I was wondering if can you put her teleporting on the ball? It's probably too big, huh?
I think it would be too big, and I think it actually
Yeah.
plants to ground.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah, I was
know.
serious if any other character would have that type of ability to do
Yeah, I
that.
was thinking with Widowmaker's like claw thing, if you were to time it just right, where she shoots her claw towards the basketball
Mm.
while it's being launched into the air, would she go follow it?
Okay. Okay, I like that idea.
Oh man, I'm sure. We're sitting here thinking about it. I'm sure there's a million people who already have thought about this and are working on,
Yeah.
working on different
Oh
routes.
yeah, I'm sure.
And pretty soon, Overwatch will be like, no more basketballs. they're gonna over, they're gonna overreact like crazy.
That's funny.
Okay, so that was esports desk, guys. Last thing we want to talk about, we're gonna have a Twitter poll up. We've been doing the esports desk for about 2 months now, and we want to know, what do you guys think about the esports segment? We are debating about going to make it a new show that would be once a week, in addition to the show that we're currently doing in the next month, or if it's something that's totally not tracking with you guys, we'll talk about what we can do with it then. But yeah, we want your guys' opinion on it. It will be a Twitter poll we put up when this episode comes out. So if you're listening to this right now, the Twitter poll is up, and I'll be retweeting it throughout the week. It'll be a week-long poll. We just want to get the listeners' opinion on how things are going and how we could always better the show for you guys. Next up, let's talk about the big expos that we had this weekend. We had 3 different events. We had the IGN Expo, which was a 3-day event. We had PC Gamers event and Guerrilla Gaming event. So instead of going over just the numerous games that were announced, there's a bunch of indie titles. We're going to just kind of go over some of our favorites. Squeaks, why don't you start us off? What was one of your favorite games that you want to bring up?
I want to bring up. I mean, I know we've seen this before with the PS5, but PC also brought it up as well. Was Godfall.
Yes.
I think this is one of the. I think this is one of the most anticipated games that are looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
It looks simple, but the world looks beautiful. The armor on these characters look beautiful. It looks like something that I'm willing to grind and have fun to get different sets of armor. This looks fun. Um, Also, one that I was semi interested was Remnant from the Ashes.
Okay.
This one looked kind of cool. I like this whole like alien twisted monster universe, and then next thing you know, you're traveling in the snow, and there's like this big giant, and then there's like these monsters on riding on other monsters. Like this thing looks pretty awesome to me. I'm really interested in
I
any game that really gets me like really geared up to fight big creatures. I really get
yeah.
turned on for.
I had kind of had a feeling that you're gonna go with the Shadow Colossus boner for that.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, and what's interesting is there's other games that do this as well. They mentioned loss. I think each of those creatures represent loss in life. You know what I'm saying? Like tackling loss and stuff like that. So it's cool when they have like a story that kind of makes sense
Oh, okay,
with like
okay.
these psychological creatures. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's so weird because the creatures are like wielding these weapons, and then you're yourself as a player wielding like a gun. So it's
yeah.
almost like modern mixed with the old time. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like it's neat looking.
A lot of these games had some interesting art style. That's one of them too. It had like this really
Hmm.
cool color palette and almost looked like a storybook look to it.
Got it.
One of the games I wanted to talk about was Liberated, and it looks like this. It's based off a comic book series that I have not read yet, but it does look like this kind of black and white grayscale noir story that all takes place in comic book panels.
Mm.
And so the cutscene, it actually blends the cutscene and everything else really well together. Where the cutscenes are actually going from panel to panel and you're following the speech bubbles. And then eventually there's one panel where you're actually interacting with things. The story is told through like a telltale type play style where you have to press A at the right time, B at the right time, with some minor movements here and there. But I really like this idea of combining the two worlds, comic books and video games. And because websites like Comixology, they're doing these things now where like kind of like puts the panel instead of just a whole comic book page in front of you, which I think really helps new comic book readers. This game might be that version where it's kind of a way to introduce how to read comic books to people, and it's like reading a comic book, but it's more interactive. I mean, that just sounds amazing. And
But
the way that it does this grayscale where it's got this very noir lighting and stuff like that just looked
mm,
really cool. So that's Liberated. I'm pretty excited about that one.
got it.
You got another one for us?
I mean, we've seen this before, and I'm really hyped about it, and I'm playing number two because I'm so hyped about it. But I'm really excited for the Mafia 2.
Yeah,
Or I mean, the Mafia 1
right. Definitive
Definitive
edition.
Edition.
Hmm.
Yeah. This is what I'm looking forward to. I seen the images and the trailer, and how beautiful it looks. And I love mafia movies, so anything to get me like a feeling like I'm in the mafia, that's what I'm looking forward to a lot.
Yeah. This is gonna be day one buy for me.
Oh, well, easy.
I have Mafia 3 sitting. I haven't played it yet, but it's on my shelf. I need to play it. But just seeing this, I was just like, oh my god, that's like playing The Godfather, which is exactly what I want to do.
Exactly. And speaking of the Godfather, I love playing that game
Yeah.
when it was actually a video game,
Yeah.
Godfather. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Mafia 3 to be honest.
Oh no. Okay.
No, it's not. You're yeah, I don't know. Anyway, different conversation.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm super
It's
excited.
not very
Just let me
Mafia
get.
style.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, super excited for this one for sure. I don't know. We're just talking like graphics enhanced, right? Well, it's obviously rebuilt looking. But I wonder how true to story, same missions, that it's sticking with from the original.
I think it would be just a full on remaster of the original. I think it's going to be
Uh,
exactly like the original.
yeah, yeah. I'm curious if they did anything new. If they
Yeah.
feel like they should have added something, now would be the time to.
Yeah. Speaking of these like just stunning looking games, A Juggler's Tale looks really interesting. It's a side scroller, but with all puppets. Did you see this one?
No, I did not actually.
I was kind of like, oh,
Juggler's
that
Tale?
looks neat, you know. But then I started noticing that there's strings attached to everything, and it's all done by puppet. All the characters have movements that mimic a puppet, a marionette, you know. And
Hmm.
even the like, say, like you walk up to a dragon, like all of its limbs will be puppeted, and it just looked really cool. And then it had these like very heavy weather effects that were working well with the parallax movement and stuff like that in the background and in the foreground. Uh, it looks really cool. It's one of those games where it's like kind of like Ori, where I'm just like I want to take my time to really notice how the grass is moving and stuff like that. This reminded me of that. And then another visually stunning game was this Airborne Kingdom, which is a city builder but all on airships. So you're doing a city builder while you're flying over, an old landscape underneath you, and you're adding some steampunk esque kind of things to your ship and trying to create a sustainable city. So think like Frostpunk maybe, but instead it's airships. So that seems really cool, and that was Airborne Kingdom. Two really beautiful looking games. You have any more for us there, Squeaks?
You know, I think I'm gonna get bored of this game, but one that I thought looked really pretty myself was I'm probably gonna say this name wrong. Pro something. What is that? Probiotic or pro
Probiotic.
no pot and no Potionnomics.
Oh, okay, yeah, Potionomics.
Am I saying that right?
I think you are because it does look like it's like alchemy based.
Okay, okay. Um, so I think that looks kind of interesting. I mean, only because I'm basing it off of how pretty it looks.
Yeah,
But it looks like a game that I could be very bored of.
yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I was looking at New World for a little while.
Cannot
That
wait for New
looks
World, man.
kind of janky to me.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't like the movements on these characters. It really does feel, um,
I
I
don't
don't
think.
want to say too PC, but it just feels too not fluent.
Well, okay, so I don't think you've played a game in that genre before. So if you've played Ark, it's the Ark genre. There's these
Okay,
survival social games. I
okay,
have a friend playing it right now in the alpha, and he's just crazy for it.
really, okay,
Yeah, it's
okay,
made by Amazon Games, and it's one of their three titles that they've just releasing this year. Um, and I like that they showed some of the character design in it because beforehand I didn't know what the character design would be, and you know I've been hearing again from the friend that's like, oh yeah, there's these big monsters and stuff. I'm like, what? That doesn't seem right with what you've
mm-hmm,
seen. No, no, no. This shows you, yeah, there's some crazy monsters that you're working to fight. And then you can see that there's going to be almost like a class design in the game, which is something that's not typical for this genre. I think it looks very cool.
hmm,
It's just that you have to be familiar with the genre to
okay, okay,
appreciate the movement and stuff like that. Because it's not like it's sharp, but you got to think that basically everything on that map is movable, and everything on that map could be destroyed or rebuilt, and stuff
okay,
like that. So
okay,
the map is so big that graphically it's as good as it can get because
okay,
everything's so big. But yeah,
okay,
that was
okay.
actually one of the ones I was excited for too. Another game that a friend's been telling me about that they had the trailer for was Torchlight 3. I actually played Torchlight 1. We put out a video when it was free on the Epic Games Store. You guys can check it out on our YouTube channel. Torchlight 3 looks great. It's bright and colorful. It's a dungeon crawler. This is classic, and you know all the Torchlights are classic. But now is in early access on Steam. You guys can actually play this game now. It's one of the few that they actually announced that was like, boom, out now. So if you're a dungeon crawler fan and you like something that's really bright, say you like Minecraft Dungeons, excellent game, but you want something that's a little more hardcore, go to not much more hardcore. I'll give you that much, but it is a little bit more.
Hmm.
Head over to Torchlight 3. That's a really cool game. But yeah, West of Dead was beautiful, but we've already seen a lot of that stuff. But I mean, I just can't wait to play that game. Almighty Kill Your Gods was pretty good, but I think that's generally it. There wasn't a ton of stuff announced for me. Anything else that you saw that looked really interesting?
No, I was gonna say In Sound Mind, just because I'm kind of into the little horror genre.
Yeah,
But that's just me grasping. I think I pretty much I'm happy with like the few that we talked about here. I
yeah,
wasn't like too crazed like with other conventions or other announcements, I guess, from other companies.
yeah. The
Um,
PS5
yeah,
announcement was amazing, and I think that kind of overshadowed anything else that happened.
yeah. I'm
Um,
looking forward to the next Xbox One. Then I really want to see
yes,
the step up.
I think Xbox is kind of like, God damn it, I hate to
They're
say this
feeling
about that
it.
company, but I think they're like, oh shit, we need to make sure to really announce something crazy because the PS5 was. I mean, they're just the internet traction. Everybody's saying like the trends are showing, man. This thing got some traction. So
Yeah,
I think Microsoft saw that and they're like, okay, it's time to announce something huge, GTA 6 or something like that.
yeah. I guess they got like the most views of announcement or whatever like that.
Yeah,
People watch, but then at the same time, you kind of say like, oh, because of COVID,
true. That's true.
So it's
Yeah,
kind of hard to base it, but I wonder how overwhelming that number is.
we actually streamed it on our stream, and we had a
Yes.
couple friends hop into their Discord. So the next big announcement, we'll do the same thing. We'll stream it on our
Nice,
stream, and
nice.
I'm sure Sony will take it off at some point. But right now they haven't, so they haven't caught us yet, guys. We're too small to fail, and
Yeah.
so but yeah, that was a lot of fun to do, and we'll do that for the future one. So if you guys see like, oh, the Xbox thing's going on, maybe I'll swing over to Geek Freaks and see how their stream's going and see what they're saying about it. And a lot of it's just like, holy cow, that looks great. Maybe I'll buy this instead. That's what I was doing the whole time.
Yeah.
Uh, it's amazing. Like this is the first time I can think of where I'm actually probably just gonna buy both systems because
Oh, damn.
they're just both really doing a good job,
Hmm.
which is crazy to me. Because normally I'm just like Xbox, and then everybody else will buy PlayStation, and then I'll have nobody to play with. That's kind of been the game plan so far in the past. But it might
Dang, your
change up.
entertainment center's gonna be stacked with these huge ass boxes on it.
Yeah, and you could probably just stack them on top of each other, make a whole new system.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been pretty good. But I think one thing we've learned is how much we miss E3. E3 seemed to
Yeah.
really bring out the best and kind of showcase the best first, and then like, oh yeah, let's watch the PC part as like bonus content. And then when you have a show that's based off that bonus content, it just falls so flat that you're kind of like, ah, man, you just miss E3, you know?
Yeah.
Today we're going to be doing one of our industry deep dives. We're going to be talking today about Ubisoft. It was originally called Ubi Space Soft Entertainment and is based out of France. Ubisoft is the fourth largest gaming company behind Activision Blizzard, Electronic Arts, and Take-Two. I was surprised by Take-Two, I thought they were a smaller company. Their most notable games are Rayman, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and all the Tom Clancy titles. Let's go into their history. Now, just a fair warning before we get too far, a lot of these names are French, and I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing them. So, the Guillemot family, I'm going to go with the Guillemots, which I know is not correct, had a business focused on services for farmers in northwest France. Eventually, they expanded into other regions, and including the UK. The family had 5 sons: Christian, Claude, Gerald, Michel, and Yves. The sons helped run the business and would eventually go to school to further their knowledge in business. The sons now were all employed by the business, but unfortunately the farming industry had evolved and making their services somewhat not needed. The business started to shrink, and the brothers started looking into new ways of bringing in money into the family. Eventually, they got into computers and selling computer games. With the approval of their mother, who was the matriarch of the family, they started their own business as a mail-order computer company. So I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember this, but there used to be a time when there was catalogs, and you used to order things out of catalogs, including your computer parts. They formed Guillemot Informatique in 1984. Soon, the mail-order business moved into supplying retailers. They were far cheaper than their competitors because they decided to import parts from the UK. Their local competitors were actually buying parts from French manufacturers. By 1985, the company went corporate to meet the higher demand, and in 86, the company earned 40 million francs, or 5.8 million United States money. Now, let's also remember that's 80s money, so it's all much smaller than it seems. The brothers saw that the most lucrative part of the company was the game sales and wanted to start developing their own games. On March 28, 1986, they founded the developer Ubisoft Entertainment. The name is short for Ubiquitous Software. So that answers the question right there. I'm not sure if it's Ubisoft or Ubisoft. I would normally say Ubisoft, and now we know it's Ubiquitous. So there you go. Now you know. Yeah, you have an answer. In case you have some of those friends who are like, oh, but they're French. It's Ubisoft. In June 86, they set up the Chateau in the Brittany region of France as their primary development studio and began hiring. So the reason they decided to set it up in a chateau is they wanted to seem appealing to some of these bigger developers, so that if you guys could leave, maybe you're stuck in a cubicle, you can come on over to the chateau and work in the chateau in beautiful northwest France. They hired Nathalie Salud as manager and Sylvie Huguenis as marketing director. Huguenis came from Elite Software, and when he came over, he brought over many other programmers. The first Ubisoft-developed game was called Zombie, with an I at the end. Zombie was a first-person action-adventure game set in the zombie apocalypse. There were 4 protagonists that roamed a shopping mall killing zombies, and if you had died, that player would then stay in that room as a zombie. Zombie was critically acclaimed and sold 5,000 copies the year it was released. They followed up Zombie in 86 with Cinéclap, Firet Flamand, Masque, and Graphic City, a program used to design sprites. In 1988, the operating cost of the chateau was simply mounting, and they needed to move to France where it made more sense. All the employees were helped with the move, but for a young programmer named Michel Ansel, he could not afford the living expenses of Paris due to his newly growing family. He had to move back to Montpellier in southern France, but the Guillemot brothers saw so much promise in Ansel, they told him to keep them updated. Later, Michel Ansel and his friend Frédéric Houde came to the brothers with a project that they had been working on. The game looked bright and beautiful, and Michel Guillemot wanted to make the game a staple for their brand. They would work on the new game in their new studio set up in Montreal, which is not Montreal, Canada, that comes later on, Montreal, which housed 100 developers. Their goal was to hit the next-gen systems, the Atari Jaguar and Sony PlayStation. In 1995, the game was released as Rayman, and it was a huge hit. This put Ubisoft on the map. While releasing their new hot title, the brothers were also hard at work with securing distribution. They locked down France, making them the distributors for the nation, and started working their way into other countries like Germany, UK, and the US. In 96, 1 year after Rayman, the company went public and raised $80 million US. They then opened studios in Annecy, Shanghai, Montreal, Canada, that's the one we're talking about, and Milan over the next 2 years. Ubisoft was huge in Europe, thanks to Rayman, but they had a hard time getting into the very lucrative US market. With the internet becoming mainstream in 1999, the brothers founded companies like Gameloft in other countries so that they can secure licensing. In 2000, they purchased Red Storm Entertainment, and with this came the Tom Clancy games. Working with Red Storm, the team developed Rainbow Six and Ghost Recon right away. In 2001, they grabbed Learning Company's entertainment division, and that gave them Myst, classic, and Prince of Persia. Ubisoft Montreal quickly went to work with Prince of Persia, seeing the potential of the IP. They developed Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, which was released in 2003, another massive hit for the company. Finally, in September 2003, Ubisoft decided to combine the name into one word, Ubisoft that we know today, and introduce the swirl, which again we're all familiar with now. As the 90s and early 2000s went on, EA, Electronic Arts, had also grown as a gaming name to be reckoned with. The companies were often allies, but had become fierce rivals over the years, and in 2004, EA purchased 19.9% shares in Ubisoft. The brothers called the move hostile, but admitted it was their fault for not being as competitive enough. Rumors spread throughout the Ubisoft staff that EA would slowly take over the company. To calm fears, John Riccatelli, the CEO of EA at the time, said that this was not a hostile move, and he would eventually sell the shares he did in 2010. Ubisoft Montreal was trying to follow up the massive success of Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. During development, the story shifted greatly. The new story involved assassins and the Knights Templar. They decided just to start a whole new IP with this and made Assassin's Creed. Over the decade and into the 2010s, Ubisoft would continue to expand by purchasing companies or titles. They also invested more into the Montreal staff, growing them from 500 to 3,500 today. Ubisoft is now a powerhouse, valued at $6.4 billion in 2017. They survived multiple takeover attempts by their hometown rivals, Vivendi, in 2015 and 2018. They established 35 Ubisoft title development studios in cities around the world. They still own 14 other studios under their umbrella. Outside of games, they have made the Uplay PC-based client used to launch many other titles, and they've also developed 4 game engines: Anvil Next, Disrupt, Dunia Engine, and Snowdrop. Snowdrop is the one they use today. The Ubisoft Film and Television division developed 2016's Assassin's Creed, 2013's Rabid Invasion, and they worked on 2020's Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, which had Mac from Always Sunny in Philadelphia in there for Apple TV. Recent titles that are going well that they've released: Rainbow Six Siege, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Just Dance 2020, The Division 2, Brawlhalla, and Roller Champions. I have not tried Roller Champions out. I'm going to have to give it a shot. Brawlhalla, if you guys haven't played that yet, it's free to play and is very fun. Upcoming games, we have Gods and Monsters, that's a totally new IP. Watchdog Legions, that's the third in the Watchdog franchise. And Rainbow Six Quarantine, this is a follow-up to the classic Rainbow Six titles. And of course, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's the new hotness right there. Everybody's excited for that one. All right, guys, that's a little bit of the history behind Ubisoft, how they became who they are today, and a name we all know and recognize. A small company that started out selling farm equipment and services to local farmers, and then seeing that they needed to adapt with the times as their industry adapted without them. They decided to get into computers and created eventually the empire we know now. 35 different Ubisoft studios. Of course, Ubisoft Montreal has become their biggest one, in charge of all Assassin's Creeds. Thank you for listening, and let me know what you guys thought of this format. A lot of this information came from Wikipedia and from the Ubisoft website themselves. You guys can sign up for the Ubisoft newsletter. I actually suggest it. It's quite informative, and they'll keep you up to date on those awesome new titles. Cannot wait for the new Assassin's Creed. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us this week. Again, watch out for that Twitter poll. Let us know what you guys are thinking about the esports desk and what you want to do with it in the future. But we will be coming out with a crossover coming out on Wednesday. There was a lot of fun to record with Lit Gaming Arena. I actually wish we recorded the whole thing because me and him talked for about 3 hours and maybe 1 hour got recorded. The other 2 were just about podcasting life. And I was just like, man, why are we not posting this as something else? It's super good. But that's how all of these crossovers have been with some of these guys like Wonder Soul and Kyle and Kevin. So really good. As we have 2 more crossovers coming up later on in the month. Just a whole bunch of content coming your guys' way. And that's going to be it. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, do you love talking about characters from different universes fighting through battlegrounds? Then check out the Crossover Collision, where Evan the Great and JVD discuss comic book battles that come straight from the pages and to your ears. So check out the podcast every Friday on thevillaindemand.com.
Thank you for joining us on the Geek Freaks Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Geek Freaks Pod. We're also on Facebook, Instagram. You can email us. We have our Patreon and a store. All those links are in the description.